I'm a little bit more safe when it comes to adventure, whereas my husband and my kids are a little bit more off the beaten path. It's definitely been scary. I've thought, oh my gosh, did we make a mistake?
We sold our cars, we sold our house, we sold a majority of our furniture. We scaled down our house down to 10 suitcases, bought plane tickets, and left.
My name is Gabriella Lindsay. I'm 37 years old, a wife and mom to 3 beautiful kids. Our family relocated to the Island of Antigua, and we live on $159 a day.
My oldest daughter is Vizuri. She is 10 years old. My middle son is Emery. He is 9 years old. And my youngest son is Mkazo. He is 8 years old. I am originally from Chicago, Illinois. I graduated with a master's in elementary education from the University of California at Los Angeles. After I graduated, I worked at an elementary school in Chicago. We wanted to have a change of pace of life. When she passed away, we realized that we'd been putting off a dream of ours for a really long time, and we just simply couldn't put that dream off anymore. So we decided to pack everything and move to Mexico and start living the life that we'd been wanting to live for quite a while.
This is what it's like flying with kids, and they haven't taken a nap.
We were in Mexico for 2 years when a job opportunity came up for my husband at the medical university here on the island. We really couldn't turn it down, so we, again, in just a couple of weeks' time, packed up our things and moved from Mexico to Antigua.
We'd like to welcome you to Antigua.
There are many differences between my life in Mexico and my life here on Antigua. Although Mexico provided us with a slower pace of life, it was still a very, very busy city. Here in Antigua, it is a much more relaxed atmosphere. When my family and I moved abroad, I sort of actually fell into copywriting. A friend of mine asked me to help her and her business with some writing, so I started taking lessons in copywriting and getting more clients, and now that is what I do. The cost of living in Antigua is higher than the cost of living in Mexico. However, both the cost of living in Mexico and Antigua is less expensive than in Chicago. We're pretty mindful about where we spend our money. The majority of our money goes towards our rent and our utilities, and then of course groceries. We only eat out about 1 time per month, and a lot of the activities that we do are typically free of cost, like going to the beach or going for a weekend hike. As an entrepreneur, my income shifts month to month, but on average, I make about $5,000 per month. While my kids are doing their virtual schooling or while they were at in-person school, that's my time also to work on my business. I typically work from 9 a.m. till about 1:30 p.m. Clients pay me via PayPal, which is great because it comes pretty automatically from when the payment is sent. My husband makes about $5,700 per month, and combined we make about $10,700 per month. Our phone bill now is $49 per month. In Chicago, our phone bill was upwards of $200. Our health insurance here in Antigua is actually comparable to our health insurance costs in the States. Here we pay $590 for 5 people per month, mainly because it is a US-based healthcare plan that has medevac in the event of an emergency.
We live in the Hodges Bay neighborhood of Antigua. We spend $2,200 a month for our 3-bedroom home. In Chicago, we spent about $1,800 per month on our mortgage, and in Mexico, we spent $475 a month for rent for a 3-bedroom home. We spend about $240 a month for electricity. In Mexico, electricity was in the $50 to $75 per month range, so it was really surprising to spend so much on our electric bill here.
Relocating out of the United States helped our family grow financially because our day-to-day expenses are significantly lower than they were in the States, which has allowed us to put a lot more money towards both paying off our credit cards, which we've done, paying down our student loans, as well as setting money aside for retirement and for savings. I'm responsible for paying taxes in the US. We are lucky enough to have a really great expat tax consultant who handles all of the number crunching and makes sure that everything is above board without too much difficulty on my or my husband's side. Living far away from family can be difficult at times. We definitely miss seeing them, especially with the recent pandemic, not being able to travel as freely.
Take a grandpa hug, say goodbye. Bye, Dad. Bye.
However, we do take advantage of Skype, FaceTime, Zoom meetings so that we can see our family and friends whenever we want via the internet. One of the most challenging things transitioning to living on Antigua is driving on the opposite side of the road. For the first few months of living here, it was very difficult for me to adjust, especially after not having even driven for the past 2 years while we were living in Mexico. When it comes to paperwork, coming from the States, being very used to being able to submit paperwork online, upload documents, not have to actually go to places in person. It's very different here. A lot of times you have to go to the place in person. There's a lot of stamps, there's a lot of staples, there's a lot of going from one window to the next in order to get things done. And sometimes those processes can take a few hours. So we've definitely learned to slow down, be a little bit more patient. My husband has a work permit visa, which allows him to be on island and work at the university. As a result, I have a visa that is dependent upon his work visa, and my children have student visas. In order to obtain a work permit, the government of Antigua requires a criminal background check, a letter of employment, copies of birth certificates, passports, marriage licenses, etc. For my children to receive their student visas, the government of Antigua requires letters from their school stating that they are in good academic and behavioral standing that are then submitted to the Ministry of Education.
My multiple entry visa costs $444 per year. My kids' students' visas are $111 per year, so times 3, that's $333 per year. My husband's work visa is covered by his university, so we don't have to worry about paying for that. So in total, we spend $777 per year to live in Antigua, to come and go as we please.
Right before moving to Mexico, my husband started a YouTube channel called Gabriella Lindsay. The point of the YouTube channel was to chronicle our journey moving from the States to Mexico as an opportunity to share with our family and friends what we were going through, as well as to inspire others who might want to make the same journey. One of my husband's and my biggest goals wherever we are in the world is that they grow up in an environment that is loving and caring, and that's something that we've experienced moving out of the US, both in Mexico and in Antigua. 5 years from now, Vernon and I see ourselves still living outside of the United States. As to whether we'll be in Antigua or not, I'm not sure, but we definitely see ourselves continuing to live as expats outside of the US in a country that has great weather and a wonderful cost of living.